Hey
Yeah,
guys,
leave
welcome
it.
to another review here at Go Mango.
No!
As always, I'm your host of Cinder Blaze. Today we have.
The Frozen Stratos.
Alright, now let's jump into this review for SSSS Dynazenon. I thought this was a decent episode. It wasn't like my favorite start to a series, but I think that they kind of intentionally kind of wanted more of like a slower ramp up, not just like a huge, like bomb, like episode
Sure.
one.
I
Uh,
like I like what they do a lot of the time. Like with Trigger, they do a lot of they give you enough information about a character. Like a lot of their episodes seem visually dense sometimes just because they throw a lot of their background paintings at you
yeah,
as characters do dialogue all the time. But the dialogue always sounds so natural and nonchalant. Um, we get these very natural character interactions. Um, and I don't know, like even the first few frames, uh, you see that one of our main characters, Yume, was getting chewed out by this dude. And like that context then comes in later. Like had I not rewatched the episode, I wouldn't have picked up on that. So there's like a lot of stuff here that you can like pick apart. So I don't know. It's always good on a rewatch to go back and grab some of that context.
yeah. I'm just like saying like compared to like other Trigger series, because like
Sure.
they kind of like they have like louder episodes, I would say, and I think that this one was like a little bit more like it was like oddly like serene. We didn't have like a lot of
Mhm.
characters kind of like being really flamboyant, except for one, particular pink-haired little
Joma.
guy, Galma. Yeah, he. I felt like that was. I just liked it a lot because like a lot of the other characters are just like very quiet
Mhm.
and like when they were talking, like a lot of anime characters like yell when they speak. Like the
Yeah.
the voice actors kind of like yelling out their lines so you can like hear them clearly.
Mhm.
But these sound a little bit more like mumbling or just like natural like talk. And then this guy just kind of like coming out here to like break the ice basically.
Yeah.
And he, like from the get go, we kind of like know that he's gonna be the one that's gonna like wrap them into something
Mhm.
like way out there, and that's exactly what happens at the end of the
Yeah.
episode. So
Like
like
they spend so much time grounding everything and making everything feel so real, and then they throw this character at you only a little bit. They give you a taste, and then suddenly it transports you into this new frame of reference that we're looking at. Like and the subtle things he does, like, oh, I guess my kaiju powers aren't working. Robot time. I don't know. It was all very effective.
yeah, like the visuals, especially for him, just really like worked with
Yeah.
the series. Let's like jump into our main character. I think we just kind of like gloss over him, but I guess there's not like too much to talk about him, just like
Yeah.
regular blue-haired protagonist,
Yeah.
kind of quiet, run-of-the-mill guy. But he does manage to feed this one guy a hot dog, and that's
Yeah.
all you really need to like kick the plot in overdrive.
Like you'd think that he'd be a bit of a blank slate, but we do get some character stuff. Like he goes out with his mom, who is, I guess, on a date with her boyfriend, which strange move to bring your son. But
No, that made perfect sense because like that was like a dinner date to kind of like introduce
mhm, okay.
the boyfriend to him, and he hates him.
I
But
know.
like and I thought that was like really nice. Like the way that he tries to like win him over. It was just like with money. Like obviously there could have been
Yeah, yeah.
like a particular context for like a specific holiday where it's like a bit more
Mhm.
appropriate, but because they had it just be in like in one simple envelope, him at the end of the dinner just take that and just like put it in the donation bin like immediately. Just was like
Yeah.
a really efficient way to show that he was just not down with this whatsoever.
Hmm.
And this is someone who, needs money or at least wants money. They've shown like at the beginning of the episode that he has a part-time job. And, he just wants some spending money, but
Yeah.
he is
Like,
working a lot to get money. So for him to
mhm.
like throw it away like that, it shows that he really is not for what this is about.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. Not quite the same sentiment. It's just that like he wants, I don't know, it feels like there's some sort of independence, either not necessarily from his home, but like from potentially his mom's boyfriend, that he would go so far and just make that money himself. Um, because maybe this isn't the first time he's sort of dangled money in front of him. Like, um, also, it's interesting, man. The what we start out with, the four S's and what they meant in context to, I don't know if it was the show or just this episode, but it said like um something about I'll look it up. But I don't know. I think what it points to is like we are going to be helping, like this show is going to explore and fix these character flaws, because that is what Dynazenon is ultimately going to be for. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
use these huge, they use kaiju and robots and all that stuff to explore the character moments. And I'm glad that we spent so much time with the characters, and establishing their problems.
I got you. Scarred souls shine like stars.
Yes. Yes, that. Um,
Yeah.
so maybe a theme going forward. I'm not sure. Something they'll touch on.
Yeah, and now that like I actually went back and read this, that makes a lot of sense for like towards the end of the episode when we see uh them kind of like form into the mecha.
Yeah.
I could have sworn that they're gonna have five people because like that's just like in the back of my head. That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the Sentai number,
Yeah,
five
yeah.
people. Um, but I guess it only takes people with like, scars like mentally, and I guess the chick with the red hair was probably more put together than the other four that we have seen in that mech, so it made a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
They all have very interesting damage. And I'm eager to explore what that means for them.
Yeah. Um, pretty. We did get to see a little bit more of like Yume's or Minami's backstory. We know that there was like a death in her family, like her
Mhm.
older sister, and she's
Yes.
probably like coping with that. Like when I was kind of like watching through that, like I'm thinking in the back of my head, like maybe her sister promised to meet her somewhere, and then
I
like
think.
something unfortunate happened and she couldn't make it, and
Mhm.
like that kind of like disappointment of like having a promise to meet up and having that broken, like that scar kind of like hurts her real bad, and then she just kind of like puts that, or she kind of like emulates that pain and does it to other people just to kind of see how like they deal with it. Because like when
Such a strange way to lash out, though. Like,
like I don't know, because like sometimes like a pain like that, especially when you're young, kind of like
yeah.
forms in like really weird and obscure ways. And I thought for like this one, it was really nice because we get to see it a bit more. Like we get to see it
Mhm.
better. Like the pain that she's experiencing, she's forcing onto like other people, and she's watching them from a distance. So she's like really interested in seeing how like they kind of like deal with it. Like, are they just kind of like, you know, just wait an hour or something and just kind of like leave and kind of be done with it and
Mhm.
move on? Or, maybe they'll just like stay like for a very long time and still kind of like hold out. Like maybe that's what
So,
she's kind of like hoping for, because maybe she was like this
mhm.
is me projecting or just like speculating
Yeah.
a bunch, but like I don't know, like, I felt like it gave me, like, a lot of things to kind of, trying to guess and predict,
Yeah,
like, where she's
like
coming from.
there's a lot of speculation that you can have. Maybe it's something like, um, she herself doesn't know how to feel or react,
Yeah,
and
and then
she wants to learn that from other people, and she doesn't know why it's not happening for her.
yeah,
But
like, maybe she's still, like, waiting for her
yeah,
sister to kinda, like, come back and meet with her, and, like, all these other people are just kinda, like, giving up and moving on, but she just can't see that, and I think that our main
well,
character, because like, he
her mom's not moving on so far. Like there is that
that is
conflict at home because her dad was drinking, and telling the mom to clean up the the sister's room.
yeah,
Um, Also, uh, there was a split second where it cut to Yume looking at her calendar, and marked was respect for the aged day recital, and her sister asked her to come. So what you're saying about her potentially inviting people and not showing up, that could hold a lot of significance there.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't know. She responds like she hears that, like that memory, Yume, I'd like you to come, and then she asks why. Whether or not that's like her remembering her reaction to why do you want me to come to the recital? I don't want to go, and then she doesn't go, and unfortunately that leads to something bad. Or um I don't know, she does end up going and then suddenly she's not there, or like why did you have to go? Why are you dead? Something. I don't
yeah,
know. There's a lot of ambiguity that is very interesting.
yeah, and I think I'm gonna be very, like, vague with this, but these are, like, somewhat spoilers for Gridman, but that show was a lot about, like, dealing with a certain type of pain,
Hmm.
and now that we kinda, like, see this, like, a bit more upfront, like, they're probably not gonna hide it as much as they did with Gridman, but I could definitely see that kinda being, following in his footsteps in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's jump into some of the fun stuff. That mech is gorgeous,
Yeah.
and it turns into a nice dinosaur.
I
That's
mean, it's a nice dinosaur, but then suddenly a race car rams itself into its ass, and suddenly it's a tail.
where else do you think tails come from?
I don't know.
Evolution. Um, that's just a fun, a bright, really nice toy. That's all I can
Yeah,
say about it, and it made me happy seeing it in action.
I
Uh,
agree.
yeah, but I wish the episode was a little bit, like, louder, though. I think that's, like, the only thing that's kinda, like, missing for it. I think that the
Hmm.
soundtrack wasn't as, like, bombastic as I would've.
I I don't know. I feel like it had a lot of um weight behind it, just because, well, for me specifically, because watching Gridman, anytime the mech would come in, you would get that swelling of the music, and it was similar enough in sound that, like, when you heard it here, it's not just, oh, the music swelling up. You have that hit of nostalgia, and like, oh, hey, all of this is sort of like connecting together, and you're going to be getting something incredible here. um I don't know. I thought it was very effective.
Alright. I think it'll take a couple more fights for me to, like, really gauge how it is. Yeah. Do you have anything else for this, episode before we dive into the comments that I don't really have up right now, but I'm in the
I have them. If
I'm very close. It's
okay.
okay.
Yeah. Let's hop into comments.
Alrighty then. Ryugono, first comment. I really like this as a first episode. I enjoy what we got with the characters so far, and especially love Galma. Seeing Dynazenon fight and then turn into Dino Rex was cool. I am also intrigued what they're going to do with Minami because I can't wait for that. Can't wait for what bombshell that will drop. I really enjoyed Gridman, so obviously I'm excited to see what Dynazenon can bring. Yeah, I have a lot of hype going in this series, especially because of how much I enjoyed that show. and a bombshell. You know, like I don't know how they're gonna drop it, to be honest, but I feel like it could just come out of nowhere and just blindside us. So I'm prepared. Every episode, I'm just waiting for it. All right. Second comment comes from Heroic Gangster. The bird that you brought up is basically Supro's official curse object. The bird signifies you will die, you are dead. First used in Ultraman Nexus for the main dudes. Spoilers, and of course, um, SS Gridman in the first episode and SSSS Dynazenon. When it comes to this episode, it was a good start to the series, but I hope it develops from things that were established in the first episode. I really hope, I really hope that there will be some good character screen time, especially for the human characters, because to me, Gridman from the OG series had a great sense of contribution to the characters and offered to the episodes, even if it's only in the battles, which Gridman lacked to me. I want to see some good concrete human cast chemistry and support.
I feel like we're getting there because we have characters in places that like their relationship right now is pretty dynamic. Some of them don't know each other. Others have a very complicated relationship that we establish right now, and very strange neuroses that we can get to. So, and I feel like whatever SSSS ended up standing for, it sort of points to a focus on the characters and what they're going to be bringing to the table and how they are going to shine like stars.
Yeah, I feel like for this one, like if we're gonna be making the comparison to Gridman, it it kind of like fleshed out like a little bit more of like the personal issues as opposed to like kind of seeing them like interacting with each other all too much because they only like really interact with each other towards like the latter half of the episode. But I think they really want to like show like what types of issues these characters are dealing with in that first episode, and I think it really like works because you kind of like see like, oh, like these broken people from like vastly like different places are just kind of coming together. And like honestly, I'm like really intrigued for like the next episode. I didn't need it to happen like this episode. We didn't need
Yeah.
like the side character just like hyping the crap up out of like the mech fight or anything like that. It's just like
Yeah,
who knows? Like it's up in the air right now.
I appreciate the focus on character work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last comment. Toei Subaru, are you guys still making Ultraman videos anymore? I watched your reaction for 2 months ago, but you guys stopped doing Dark Cloud Zero movie. Do you guys still want to continue it for later for Revenge of the Belial movie? I really want to watch that movie again. We were having some issues with the players for Dark Cloud Zero, finding like a good stream that doesn't crash all the time. So once we find a good one, then we'll try to get on that when we have time. But for like the time being, like we're gonna have like the Dynazenon kind of replace the Ultraman time slot for now. But if we do have the time, I'll try to get that out for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's an Alex promise.
Yeah.
Thank you to Toei and Subaraya for asking for Ultraman from us.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it means a lot.
I feel so special.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that song now. All right. That's it from us. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check our description down below. There's a little link that helps support the BLM movements and support the Stop Asian Hate cause. So check this out. Please stop hurting people. Stop being that racist. Keep it juicy.
You almost stuck the landing and then you added extra shit.
I mean, they can be a little racist.
Oh Jesus! You thought we wouldn't have a lot to talk about. There was